right, you guys, welcome back to another episode of I Can't, He Can. My name is Sarai. I'm your host, as you guys already know, and we are here with another Sound Mind series episode. And today we are going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do a part one, we're going to do a part two of Ecclesiastes because even though this book is pretty short, there's only 12 chapters, it has taken a while to finish. And I want to blame that on the fact that I had to read it like three times for it to really sink in and for me to not take things so literally as I was reading, or figuratively, I shall say, I think is the better word. But we are going to read through chapter 8 through chapter 12. That's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of information. Again, they're very short chapters, but I'm going to read through that. However, since you guys already have the context of chapters 1 through 7, I think that King Solomon's writing is going to be a lot easier to understand as I am reading. Now, I do want to note again that I am reading from the New King James Version. As I always say, please have your Bibles with you. If you don't have a Bible, like I said in the last episode, that was not the Sound Mind series, but I did say that you guys can reach out to me via social media, or even email me if you need your own Bible, and I will get it to you. Very, very important just to stay in the Word. I think I had also mentioned to kind of lay off like the YouVersion apps and have an actual physical Bible. But for me lately, I have also been going into YouVersion because I'm just very tired and just not really wanting to sit here in my little corner. But we do need to keep God and His Word at the forefront. We do need to always make sure that we are comparing what we hear and what we watch to this manual that God has left for us. So I always want to just begin with that because it is just so important, especially in these times that we are living. So again, so that we can commence and not ramble too much, I'm going to read chapter 8 of Ecclesiastes through chapter 12. I will not say verse per verse what number I'm reading. But I will tell you before I start another chapter how many verses that chapter has. So chapter 8 has a total of 17 verses. Chapter 9 has a total of 18 verses. So chapter 8 has 17, chapter 9 has 18, chapter 10 has 20, chapter 11 has 10, and the shortest chapter, chapter 12, has 14. Actually, chapter 11 was shorter, but chapter 12 has 14 verses. So all in all, they're not very long. I just don't want to confuse you or the flow of what I'm reading by saying verse 1, verse 2, verse 3. So that is why I am doing it a little bit different. So again, to commence, Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 1. Who is like a wise man, and who knows the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom makes his face shine, and the sternness of his face changed. Where the word of a king is, there is power. And who may say to him, "What are you doing?" He who keeps his commands will experience nothing harmful, and a wise man's heart discerns both time and judgment. Because for every matter there is a time and judgment, though the misery of man increases greatly. For he does not know what will happen, so who can tell him when it will occur? No one has power over the spirit to retain the spirit, and no one has power in the day of death. There is no release from the war, and wickedness will not deliver those who are given to it. All this I have seen and applied my heart to every work that is done under the sun. There is a time in which one man rules over another to its own hurt. Then I saw the wicked buried, who had come and gone from the place of holiness, and they were forgotten in the city where he had so done. This also is vanity. Because the sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Though a sinner does evil 100 times, and his days are prolonged, yet I surely know that it will be well with those who fear God, who fear before him. But it will not be well with the wicked, nor will he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he does not fear before God. There is a vanity which occurs on earth, that there are just men to whom it happens according to the work of the wicked. Again, there are wicked men to whom it happens according to the work of the righteous. I said that this is also vanity. So I commended enjoyment because a man has nothing better under the sun than to eat, drink, and be merry. For this will remain with him in labor all the days of his life which God gives him under the sun. When I applied my heart to know wisdom and to see the business that is done on earth, even though one sees no sleep day or night, then I saw all the work of God, that a man cannot find out the work that is done under the sun. For though a man labors to discover it, yet he will not find it. Moreover, though a wise man attempts to know it, he will not be able to find it. That was the end of chapter 8. We are going to jump in now to chapter 9. And as a reminder, that has 18 verses. Ecclesiastes chapter 9. For I considered all this in my heart, so that I could declare it all, that the righteousness and the wise and their works are in the hand of God. People know neither love nor hatred by anything they see before them. All things come alike to all. One event happens to the righteous and the wicked, to the good, the clean, and the unclean, to him who sacrifices and him who does not sacrifice. As is the good, so is the sinner. He who takes an oath is he who fears an oath. There is an evil in all that is done under the sun. The one thing happens to all. Truly, the heart of the sons of men are full of evil. Madness is in their hearts while they live, and after that they go to the dead. Before him who is joined to all the living there is hope, for a living dog is better than a dead lion. For the living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing, and they have no more reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. Also their love, their hatred, and their envy have now perished. Never more will they have a share in anything done under the sun. Go, eat your bread with joy, and drink your wine with a merry heart, for God has already accepted your works. Let your garments always be white, and let your head lack no oil. Live joyfully with the wife whom you love all the days of your vain life, which he has given you under the sun, all your days of vanity. For that is your portion in life, and in the labor which you perform under the sun. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with your might, for there is no work, or device, or knowledge, or wisdom in the grave where you are going. I returned and I saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor bread to the wise, nor riches to men of understanding, nor favor to men of skill, but time and chance happen to them all. For man also does not know his time, like fish taken in a cruel net, like birds caught in a snare, so the sons of men are snared in an evil time, when it falls suddenly upon them. This wisdom I have also seen under the sun, and it seemed great to me. There was a little city with few men in it, and a great king came against it, besieged it, and built great snares around it. Now there was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city. Yet no one remembered that same poor man. Then I said, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard. Words of the wise spoken quietly should be heard, rather than the shout of a ruler of fools. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroys much good. That was the end of chapter 9. And wow, every time I read it, I say this is my favorite chapter. And I really do think chapter 9 was my favorite. But let's continue here. Ecclesiastes chapter 10. Dead flies putrefy the perfumer's ointment and cause it to give off a foul odor. So does a little folly to one respected for wisdom and honor. A wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart at his left. Even when a fool walks along the way, he lacks wisdom, and he shows everyone that he is a fool. If the spirit of the ruler rises against you, do not leave your post, for conciliation pacifies great offenses. There is an evil I have seen under the sun. As an error proceeding from the ruler, folly is set in great dignity. While the rich sit in a lowly place, I have seen servants on horses, while princes walk on the ground like servants. He who digs a pit will fall into it, and whoever breaks through a wall will be bitten by a serpent. He who quarries stones may be hurt by them, and he who splits wood may be endangered by it. If the axe is dull, and one does not sharpen the edge, then he must use more strength, but wisdom brings success. A serpent may bite when it is not charmed. The babbler is no different. The words of the wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool shall swallow him up. The words of his mouth begin with foolishness, and the end of his talk is raving madness. A fool also multiplies words. No man knows what it is to be. Pardon me. Who can tell him what will be after him? The labor of fools wearies them, for they do not even know how to go to the city. Woe to you, O land, when your king is a child and your princes feast in the morning. Blessed are you, O land, when your king is the son of nobles and your princes feast at the proper time, for strength and not for drunkenness. Because of laziness, the building decays, and through idleness of hands, the house leaks. A feast is made for laughter, and wine makes merry, but money answers everything. Do not curse the king, even in your thought. Do not curse the rich, even in your bedroom, for a bird of the air may carry your voice, and a bird in flight may tell the matter. It's a lot of things in chapter 10 that resonated with current life for me. We shall continue. Chapter 11 has 10 verses. This is the shortest one. Ecclesiastes chapter 11. Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days. Give a serving to 7, and also to 8, for you do not know what evil will be on the earth. If the clouds are full of rain, they empty themselves upon the earth. And if a tree falls to the south or the north, in the place where the tree falls, there it shall lie. He who observes the wind will not sow, and he who regards the clouds will not reap. As you do not know what is the way of the wind, or how the bones grow in the womb, or her who is with child, so you do not know the works of God who makes everything. In the morning, sow your seed, and in the evening, do not withhold your hand. For you do not know which will prosper, either this or that, or whether both alike will be good. Truly, the light is sweet, and it is pleasant for the eyes to behold the sun. But if a man lives many years and rejoices in them all, yet let him remember the days of darkness, for there will be many, and all that is coming is vanity. Rejoice, O young man, in your youth, and let your heart cheer you in the days of your youth. Walk in the ways of your heart and in the sight of your eyes. But know that for all these, God will bring you into judgment. Therefore, remove sorrow from your heart and put away evil from the flesh, for childhood and youth are vanity. Continuing to the last chapter of Ecclesiastes that has 14 verses. Let's jump in. Ecclesiastes chapter 12. Remember now your Creator in the days of your youth, before the difficult days come and the years draw near when you say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun and the light, the moon and the stars are not darkened, and the clouds do not return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house tremble, and the strong men bow down, when the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look through the windows grow dim, when the doors are shut in the streets, and the sound of grinding is low, when one rises up at the sound of a bird, and all the daughters of the music are brought low. Also, they are afraid of height and of terrors in the way. When the almond trees blossoms, the grasshopper is a burden, and desire fails. For man goes to his eternal home, and the mourners go about the streets. Remember your Creator before the silver cord is loosed, or the golden bowl is broken, or the pitcher shattered at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the well. Then the dust will return to the earth as it was, and the spirit will return to God who gave it. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher, all is vanity. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people the knowledge. Yes, he pondered and sought out and set in order many proverbs. Many proverbs. The preacher sought to find acceptable words, and what was written was upright, words of truth. The words of the wise are like goads, and the words of scholars are like well driven nails given by one shepherd. And further, my son, be admonished by these, of making many books there is no end, and much study is wearisome to the flesh. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is man's all. For God will bring every work into judgment, including every secret thing, whether good or evil. And so, my friends, this is the end of the reading of Ecclesiastes. To recap, we read chapter 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Thank you for joining me for part 1. I hope that you guys stay tuned for part 2 as I go ahead and I decipher what I took from these handful of chapters that were simple and sweet, but actually there was a lot of depth to all of them. See you back in a little bit.